And we're back here once again with another episode of the MSK show. And this is going to be episode 225. So I hope you guys had a great day. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your week that is ahead of you. And in this episode of the MSK show, just in a little bit after we have our usual starting of the show conversation, we are going to be doing a comic book review on the Summer of Superman special #1.
Woohoo!
And if you guys are subscribed to my comic book channel, you guys can go and watch a video that we did, some months ago talking about when this was announced, but we'll get into that more later on. But, how has your week been so far, man? You look absolutely dead.
No, I'm just bothered. I did not like this comic. I'll put it this way. Like when we did the opening of the Absolute Universe, we were both in favor of we were liking the Absolute Universe, the universe itself, more than the Ultimate Universe. But I kept saying that Invasion book that you didn't care for, but I said, yeah, it was slow, but you're gonna know what's going on and the reasons why things are happening.
Yeah,
because of the players. Now we get this. And it's just like,
what's that saying that we had back in the day? Maybe I judged you too harshly.
Well, that's kind of what I was saying. Like, Hickman's really good at the universe building.
Yeah.
And it seems like they put together a bunch of really cool teams, and they're just writing really cool books as opposed to furthering the actual universe itself.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, they need
they need something.
They need an editor that's keeping up with the lore of what's going currently on. And now with the All In universe, it's like, let's see. From everything I read with that, I even said this before. I think I told you this. I think the Ultimate Spider-Man book and the Ultimate Wolverine book are better alternate timeline books right now than DC. Like the DC ones are fine, but I think the one with Ultimate Spider-Man just has a lot more depth.
I think Ultimate Spider-Man is better. Ultimate Wolverine, I think Absolute Batman is better than Ultimate Wolverine. That's just my opinion.
Yeah,
but
Absolute Batman is fun. I
like the Absolute books as a whole better. I just think the universe, besides the Absolute people being in an absolute universe, what have they talked about that leads them to
that was my problem with Batman,
other than it's just another Batman.
Hi, Emily.
At some point in time, it's got to be like we're moving in a direction that gets you to where these universes collide. Now they are doing stuff, but you have to read Challengers of the Unknown. And you have to read the New Gods, and you have to read some of the other stuff where I feel like if you start something in a book like Justice League, you should talk about that stuff in Justice League. I shouldn't have to read Challengers of the Unknown, which, by the way, is a fantastic book right now. I've read all 5. They're great. It's really cool to see other people that aren't superheroes doing stuff. And it's more of a based book. I'll say that.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's bothersome to me. I'm just like, all right, when do we start getting back to the stuff that we established 8 months ago? When does that have anything to do with anything? And that's a problem with DC is what they do is, oh my God, something's working. People are buying this. So we're just going to continuously make, all of this stuff. Because I'm pretty sure I own all the Absolute books. The Absolute books, and I own all of so far since All In has been out. I own all the Batman, all the Superman, all I own Absolute Batman, Absolute Superman, Absolute Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter, Flash. I own all but I also have all the main books of Superman, Flash, Green Lantern. I don't have Wonder Woman because
there's Green Arrow.
I stopped Green Arrow when Williamson left because it was that was one of the few, that and Green Lantern were 2 of the cool things from All In. You know what I mean? It was the two really good books.
Did you start reading Jeremy Adams' Aquaman run?
Yeah, I have that.
It's good. You would vouch for it.
I don't want to say I'd vouch for it. It's not as good as Green Lantern, but
Okay.
it is good. It does have his right. It just, I mean, it's only like 4 issues in or 3 issues in.
Yeah. So the first arc's pretty much over at this point. Okay.
They got about 2 more.
Okay.
Two more. He does like 6 book arcs.
It's the thing that I had pointed out when I think it was before I met you. I made the video when the All In initiative was announced for the Ultimate Universe. This is something that I would like to point out with DC a lot because they didn't really have a direction for this anyway. Dawn of DC didn't hit the way they thought it was going to hit, and they were like, you know what, fuck it, let's just try this and let's see if this works. And I didn't think that now they think about it in hindsight that they're able to look at it and go, damn, this actually hit very big, but we have no direction here because there was really supposed to be a direction because what was going on.
I'm sure they have an end game. I almost guarantee they have an end game, but they don't have the interconnecting things. So at least so far, maybe we'll see it whenever the books hit a year. I don't know. Or when sales dip. I mean, we talked about that. Is that when they start enacting the next phase when sales dip? And then it gets people to come to stay. But I just didn't know, like, there was no inkling, right? It never said, like, at the end of the DC one-shot special or all-in special, it never said, go read Challengers of the Unknown to find out more about how Darkseid leaving has affected the world around our characters. Never said that. I knew New Gods would have to be one just because.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's just I didn't know if I wanted to read any more Ram V. You know what I mean? Like, I just didn't know. But when I thought about it, I was like, well, maybe New Gods is like, because of how he writes, that might work out for him. Like that would make sense. Now, I've only read the first one. I do have, I think there's 5 or 6 of them. I can't remember. I do have all of those. But yeah, like, I've been buying all of this stuff from DC, like, hoping that they're moving forward. Now, with the end of this book, at least, there were 2 pages that we kind of, got something. We got something. Now, where they go from here, I don't know. And I don't know why it was in the Summer of Superman book. Like, why? The only thing I can think of is because it's a #1 and it's a special. So they had to put something at the end of it. Because doesn't it seem like when we get into this, that Validus is like just kind of shoehorned in there really weirdly?
Yeah, like, I mean, I would consider him the villain of the book differently from you. I think if he was supposed to be a villain, that was terrible. If that was supposed to be the villain of the book, that was horrible. That was really bad.
I just don't think he's the villain of the book. Because he's not doing it on purpose. That's right. That's the thing. It's not him. Is he a bad guy? Yes, but it's like, it's from the Legion of Superheroes. It's from 3,000 years in the future. He's time slipping. So I don't think there's necessarily a villain, right? You're supposed to be asking, why is this happening? And what is the end when it stops? What is the end game of that happening? And we get to see what the end game of it was. It's just nothing led you there. Like, nothing from any of the other books that deal with the absolute universe or the all-in universe that are supposed to at some point in time come together. Nothing has led there. I can't even put like the Challengers, which has talked more about Darkseid than anybody, right? Because, like, in the Challengers books, when Darkseid created the rift in the absolute special, it did something to the galaxy where there's these, like, different anomalies, right? And the Challengers have to go and, like, inspect the anomalies. And Mr. Terrific doesn't want the Justice League doing it because they're still super paranoid about losing all their powers and, like, can they trust humans and, like, all this. It's so he has become insufferable in those books. Like, in the Challengers books, he is insufferable right now. Reading anything about Mr. Terrific when he talks, like, is just beyond ridiculous.
This was the other thing that I talked about a while ago, and I think they should do this, but I know they won't because, well, it's DC, and typically they're not very good with continuity in general. As we know, they've had massive reboots for the last, good lord, who knows
I'm
how
not
many
going to
years.
say they're bad with continuity. I think they just try a lot of things.
Yeah, and I think there should be a book that they put out relatively about every 3 months, kind of giving people the actual jumping on points for things that are actually going to matter. So in the future, I hope they do this, but I know they won't. This is an idea of mine where you make a book, like a 40-page book, talking about your main characters. When we know Wonder Woman's their main character, allegedly, where you put in whatever you're trying to essentially like get people to understand, you point them in that direction. It's like, okay, people are confused about where the universe is going. This is the book you need to read, knowing which actual series that'll tackle the things that you want. So, like you said, Challengers of the Unknown. Let's make a book where it says this is where you need to start reading that series. Then, if you want to read like Justice League to see the newest event going on, We Are Yesterday, that's where you should be reading that. If you want to see what's happening with Superman and Lois and her powers being gone now, you go to Superman with Joshua Williamson's run. They need a directional book like that, because the fact that they think you're going to go and try out all those books hoping to find out what's going on is just, first of all, that's ridiculous based off a price standpoint. I know you and I can afford to do that, but like you said before, the average person is not going to be able. I mean, the average person is not going to be trying to check out all those books to see what's going on. They're going to maybe get like a Batman, Superman book and maybe a few other things that they're really interested in. People will really only pick up the things that they're really interested in. The other like side books like Outsiders, Challengers of the Unknown, New Gods, that's stuff for like people that are, if you're interested in that stuff, I'm not saying there's not an audience for it, but how much appeal do those kind of titles really have to entice people to, buy those books actually? That's why I feel like they need something of what like Shonen Jump used to do, like those big giant Shonen Jump magazines that had all the manga currently in it. And they said, hey, if you want to kind of jump onto this manga right now, you need to go to this volume. It starts here. It starts at this point, at this time. Stuff like that is fine because you can kind of point people in the direction that you want them to go. But things like this, where it should be a little bit more than what it is, just kind of feel, I don't know, like the whole thing I use with Thunderbolts, you got to just, turn your brain off on some of this stuff, because when you start actually logically thinking about it, you're just like, what in the fuck is going on here?
Well, I mean, I guess I try not to do that anyway, because they're comic books, but I should be able to follow the whole initiative. Like, I should be able to easily follow what's going on in their universes, but it seems to be a problem. Like, I'm not someone that's going to dissect comics to the point where I'm analytically looking at them into that point. I just want to know, like, hey, you started a whole new universe and Darkseid was the reason. What's going on with him? 70 books should not be published by the time I hear anything about him. Like, that's a pretty big deal. Now, I know they're building up these universes, but we don't even know, like, the universe itself, right? Like, why is it important? Just because Darkseid created something different? Like, usually you find out, like, oh, this is Earth 2, that this happens, or this is, whatever. Anyway, like, we know that in DC, Earth 3 is where the crime syndicate's from. Like, we know those things. Where is the absolute universe? What, like, and if Darkseid is this person who is the reason why this stuff was created, right? What effect does he have on those universes? Because you would think if there was this overarching, ruling, massive I-beam shooting stone god, that maybe like absolute Batman would be like, oh, it sucks having to deal with this stuff in Gotham, especially since that Darkseid guy's over on Planetos B, or anything.
He gets on the phone. Clark, we got a Darkseid, because Lord knows I love Batman, but he is not walking up the Darkseid trying to challenge that man. Clark, buddy, I need you here immediately. I'm about to get stomped the fuck out.
And then whenever the time shift happened in the All In special, right? And
Mhm,
Booster Gold gets lost. Like, they haven't even talked about the time shift. Like,
mhm.
so when the time shifted, did just everybody forget Booster Gold was a person? Was he
Yeah,
erased from everybody's memory?
they did that kind of twist in the movie where that one point where they try to catch it with something, but then they're hoping
It's
that you're
just
so dumb that you forget about it. Because
it's
that's what
just
happened in the All In special, right? Booster Gold was like lost in this thing that he had to go through, and then
yeah,
the
but they
books full.
still they
Yeah.
never said that he wasn't a person though in that universe. He just slipped out of time for that set because all they did was repeat that last 5
Mhm.
seconds. That's it. What about the other years that he existed? Isn't anybody like, hey,
Oh yeah.
we gave Booster Gold a card. Where is he? Because I understand they don't remember him being the one that went through the rift. I get that. Perfectly makes sense because time shifted back to right when they asked the question about who's going to go in there. But what about all the time that existed before then? They've been on how many missions and not one of the teams was like, oh, we need Booster Gold. Hey, has anybody seen Booster Gold? Like, anybody?
Dude, it's like that episode in What If, remember the Disney Plus show
No,
where that
no, I don't.
okay, there was an episode very, very, very similar to that where in this What If special, from apparently like there T'Challa was kidnapped from Wakanda and taken to
Uh-huh.
be a member of the Guardians of the Galaxy, and then it's like at the end of the
Oh,
episode, he
yes,
was
yes, I
remember that
do know.
one, and
I
and,
do
and
know
remember
that. Yes,
he was brought back, and the people were
right.
celebrated for
Celebrated.
you
Yeah.
people kidnapped this kid for 18 years.
Yeah,
Why
wasn't
are
it
they
like he was
celebrating?
instead of he was like Star-Lord instead of
Yeah.
yeah, something like that. But like it seems to me that they're doing the whole like he's gone so they don't have any it's like did Doctor Strange come and do a stupid spell and then all the other Booster Gold showed up and then Toby Maguire Booster Gold stopped him from stabbing his arch nemesis. Oh wait, wrong movie thing.
I'm gonna put some
Like
dirt in your eye.
good lord. So dumb.
Oh God. Well, let's get into this. This is the main appetizer of the show today. Just in 1 second, everyone. I have to get some more stuff done today, so this is going to be our only real topic. But this is going to take up most of the time anyway, so you guys are going to really enjoy
It's
it.
fine. There's basketball to watch.
I do. Yeah, there's a lot with that. I know Chaz, Nick fan. He was very happy when they made that comeback last night.
That was surprising.
But it's so borderline criminal that could happen, though. I know it's cool for like the narrative and the story.
It's
but it's
basketball
like,
though. I mean, like you think it's only like 10 shots. I mean, I know it sounds crazy. I know it does, but things have happened like
because
that
man,
many
that
times.
should be borderline unlosable from their position.
Not in today's basketball with no defense. Sorry, I mean, yeah, in the 90s, would a team be coming back really from like 20 down with like 2 minutes left in the third? Not likely. Not likely. I'm not saying it can't happen.
No, yeah.
But we've already had a 30-point comeback. We've had a 25-point comeback and a 20, all within like a week and a half of each other. So, I'm not going out on the limb and say it can't happen.
No, I know.
I'm waiting for the 40 in the fourth quarter.
It's just so crazy to me, man, that if you're in that winnable of a position, no one on the team goes, "Hey guys, we're in a great position right here. Let's just keep driving it home." But it feels like
they did miss a lot of shots though. I mean,
they have the best 3-point average, and they missed like every 3-point shot.
They went 15 for 60 from 3. 15 for
longest
25%.
Losing. What was it? It was the longest losing 3-pointer streak ever. That's crazy.
I mean, no, the longest was the Rockets. They were over 27.
Right. Oh yeah, year. You're right. Yeah.
But it was probably for the Eastern longest. It was probably the East something. It was a lot. Just put it that way. It was a
crazy
lot.
Because it's so unusual.
60.
It's so unusual because their team is known for having a great bench, a team that all the shooters average like 25. You're like, one of you guys should be popping off.
But what's I look at that and I go, okay, that is crazy. But how about Oklahoma City choking? Just
I did predict Denver to win. I predicted him to win.
Wow, but that way? I didn't put.
I thought they have a.
How are you not going to put your best player on the floor? Like, it just doesn't, like, none of it makes sense. And I hate the coach's narrative after the game where they're like, well, that's the only way we could have done. No, it's not. No, it's not. You're just lying now. You were just lying. You're lying, and you just are making shit up. That is not how you then. No, because we had to foul with 2 seconds.
I've seen this so much from coaches from traditional sports and league. They do that thing where if it worked out the way they wanted to, they would be heralded as a genius. But then it didn't work out.
In what league?
Oh my god! I'm not doing this.
You have coaches
in League of Legends? Yeah, you have drafting coaches and head coaches. You have a head coach, an assistant coach, and you have an analyst typically. Oh god, I broke this man. Guys, I'm sorry. I broke this man. Oh my god.
You have coaches in a video game.
Yeah, there's coaches in Valorant, the coaches in CSGO.
Unbelievable.
But you've seen it before too, man. Where like a coach will do
video games.
Well, like, you know how a coach will do something, and then if it works out really well, it's heralded as a really good thing.
They do not get to be called coaches. Do not compare League of Legends coaches to coaches that
I'm talking about your other point.
$15 million a year.
Oh my god. Jeez, man.
Do not even.
I think every time I talk about League, he just finds his way to shit on it. Oh my god.
In the same. Do you want to know why? I'll tell you why I shit on it. If you would just talk about it like it's a normal thing, I wouldn't. Because it's something you're into. That's fine. The reason why I do is you equate it to regular day life as if everybody else is supposed to give a fuck.
I'm making it a metaphor. It applies to your point anyway. You were talking about coaches making like a 5-head IQ play, but then I was trying to explain that if it worked out the way they wanted to, you know, the fans would go like, okay, you're really smart. This really worked out. But it didn't work out. And now he has to come up with some bullshit reason of like, well,
that press conference for League of Legends really brings in the viewers.
Typically have press conferences typically don't happen until like the end of a season, honestly. So I'll explain to you the ways of League at some point.
I don't want to know. My mind is like, I'm like, listen, and I understand like having like a draft and stuff like that, and like having like, you know, a slash team owner, like, because you're like the guy who drafts, but a coach, a fucking coach,
a head coach, and an analysis
for
an analyst, you would say.
We got to move past this, dude. My brain literally is about to like explode.
So, like, you know how all the draft you have for NBA and NFL and stuff? League had that at one point, but there was no viewership in it for new players getting drafted, so they just stopped doing it. I wish they still did it, but they don't, because people say like
that's the only thing that makes sense, though. Like, imagine not playing the game and you're a coach of a fake video game. How gay are you?
Yeah, you could say I'm a head coach. They get Coach of the Year awards too. They stopped that recently. I don't think they're going to be giving out as much. You know how you have like all pro teams
might have
and stuff?
An aneurysm.
It's not as crazy as you're thinking.
No, I didn't say it was crazy. It's stupid.
I mean, you will find a lot of frauds in the scene. It's very very possible.
Fraud coaches in the scene.
Oh my god. He's gaslighting me. There's what is wrong with you?
I can't.
No. Like, you know how like you have a coach that is on a good team?
Don't talk to this guy. He's bamboozled us in League of Legends.
No. I'm saying like you'll have
information. It's a coach scandal.
No, I'm saying like you'll have teams where like they're doing very well, but you could tell the coach is an obvious fraud because they'll go to like other teams and fail, and then
the coach has no like. dude, pick your play. If you're good at, listen, I used to play Street Fighter, right? Street Fighter
I
2.
did too. Yeah, it's
And
crazy.
I was
That's in here.
very good. Very good. I went to
Mhm.
tournaments. I did all that stuff, right? Very good. No coach is going to help our team play the
Well,
game
single
better.
player fighting games don't need
No, no,
coaches.
no, no, no. We had tags. We had stuff like that. Yeah, you had teams. If you played
Yeah, you
Tekken
had
tag,
tag. Yeah,
yeah,
tag teams. Yeah,
that's still like you like
that's not
no
coaching. That's
coach.
more like, bro, you got this, man.
What are they gonna tell you in the game?
It's more
League
like
of
looking at it.
Legends.
It's more like looking at it from a macro point of view, like
Right.
thinking
So
about the game.
whenever it's a fighting game, it's oh yeah, go ahead, dude. But
It's a
whenever
little bit
it's
more
League of
linear.
Legends, it's
Fighting
looking
games
at
are
it
way
from a
more
macro
linear. I'm
standpoint.
not saying they're not complex in their own way, but they're linear if we're talking about
Dude,
games like
League of
that.
Legends is not that difficult. I've seen it.
Have you
I've seen it. It is not like a thinking man's game. People will say it is, right? Because
I would
they'll
say
defend any game they play.
to
That's
learn the
how
absolute
anything is.
basics, I agree. To learn the basics, but if you're learning like the ways of like actually impacting the
Okay,
map, that takes
listen to
time.
listen to what I'm saying. If you are playing in a League of Legends, like high tier team, you already
Yes,
know how to do all that stuff.
you
You
would
don't need
assume.
some fake dude in a fucking sweater vest telling you what to do. Aggro over there on that part of the map.
You would assume you would you would think so, right? But like players don't think about that stuff as
I'm
much as you
telling
think
you
they
now.
do. At least
I'll,
these
I'll,
guys don't.
you know what we should do? We should start a League of Legends cage fighting group, and
These guys are,
I'll fight all of them.
you are in. You know how mentally deranged you are. Did your
Yes.
brain?
Yes.
It's like I'm listening to the ramblings of a deranged person right now, but it's okay because Vladius was also deranged because he was
now
locked
you
in
know.
time.
Now you know how it is when I talk to you all the time. Now you know how I feel.
The man's killing me. This man's
No,
killing me.
okay. You said I'm not even gonna say what we said, but you said something to me the other day on Twitter message, and I just said, "Hey, man, no biggie. You know, I just do this just because I give you shit, and I'd like you. If I didn't want to talk to you, I wouldn't." Nice thing to say. What does this dude say back to me? What did you say back?
I said, "Have a good day, sir."
No, you didn't. You said, "Oh, where's my wife?"
Like, if
the one time I try to say something nice to you, you come back with that.
Good Lord. Well, speaking of James Gunn, just no, it's what I'm saying. Like
James Gunn,
the reason why
he has a very, very big League of Legends team. By the way, I heard he's invested millions.
No,
I've heard.
So Mark Cuban. So Mark Cuban didn't want to invest into a team because if I'm just being honest here, you can't make money doing this. And Mark, yeah. So Mark Cuban didn't do it. I would have thought
this was $1 billion idea.
I mean, Stephen Curry, he actually did invest into one team, but you can tell the investment didn't pay off because he's never talked about it. They probably
and they didn't hire the right coach or analyst either.
It's too much to explain right now. I would say for hours
fucking around.
No, like I have to. No, it's not you. I would have to explain it for like a long time. It's basically in esports. If they don't want to have bad controversy with someone like Stephen Curry, who probably invested like millions of dollars, thinking it was going to grow and grow and go over time, then they'll just be like, hey, man, we'll just stop your investment and we'll just kind of call it even. Because he invested into a team, but he's never got his money back. There's no way he did. He invested like $10 million.
Nobody's gonna get their money back on something that doesn't make money.
But they didn't know that at the time, though. At the time, the viewership was going up, so they thought.
I could have told him that.
I agree. I
could have never heard of this and said it would never work.
I said the same thing. I said this is all fake hype. It's gonna come crashing down.
Like I remember like when Dota and stuff was on like the G4 channel, and then like people would they'd be in the arena and they're like, yeah, woohoo, and then you'd get the ratings and it was watched by like 400 people. It's just not a sustainable thing. Like video games tournaments are cool when you're there. If that's what you're into, I have no problem with that. That's perfectly fine. Like if that's what you're into, go ahead and do it. Same thing with like Magic the Gathering or
That's for
Yu-Gi-Oh
losers.
or I mean, see what you're saying? You're saying something is for losers, but yet you're playing something that other people think is for losers. So it's like
Yeah,
hard.
yeah.
It's hard to like, say something is for losers when you thus entail do something just as losery.
I agree, but there are chads in it like myself who rise above the cream of the crop,
No,
technically speaking.
no, that's not true.
So like the reason why I picked the Nuggets to win is because I felt like OKC faced such an easy opponent in the first round. They wouldn't exactly know how to take on an opponent that actually faced a real opponent. That was my thought process.
I
Maybe
mean,
it's gonna work
I
out, maybe
didn't
it's
since
not. I
they
don't know.
they play these
Because
guys in the
dude,
regular
even
season
you said
multiple
this.
times.
Even you
Multiple
said it.
times.
You said that Memphis is one of the easiest opponents next to the Lakers. Like there was no
No,
real
I
danger of
agree.
them
They
losing
didn't
to
have
Memphis.
any danger. No, they did not. They did not. I didn't think. I'm
There
just
was no
saying. I'm
second thought in our
surprised.
head. We knew they were going to lose.
I never really think game one is that big of a deal. But
Yeah.
whenever like you choke, they were gonna win that game. They choked it away, and they were at home. Now that's different. When three of the Cleveland, Boston, and Oklahoma City lose at the same, that's a story, regardless if it's game one or not. Usually, like I said, I don't really look at game one as a thing, but they choke, and then Boston can't buy a bucket if they, like they couldn't do anything. Like that's crazy.
That game you just mentioned, that Memphis one, is the most criminal game I've seen all season. There's no way your star player gets you that far, and even if they choke, there should be just no reason. They were up literally by the fourth quarter. Everyone, if you go back and watch the game, they were still down 15 points. There's really no way you should lose those games. I just
don't know why you don't put him on the floor. It just doesn't make sense. It's like, I understand the fouling, but it doesn't mean you could literally have since they don't have like defensive flooring and you could do whatever now. There is no illegal defense like there was in the 90s. Like, just have your center and your other guy go up there and foul. Like, what does it fucking matter?
The only person playing illegal defense is Draymond Green because that guy's a freak.
He is nuts. I'll give him this, though. He's the only guy that I see out there defensively that is at least, whether he plays dirty or not, he tries every play. He is giving 100% effort. I don't agree with everything that he does in today's game because you have to look at the rules of the game by the way that they're set in front of you. That's why I don't like comparing eras. I hate doing that, because all these guys that say, oh, they were plumbers. They were plumbers. Yeah, you know what, though, dude? If they didn't have anybody covering them either, how are you going to stop like Sean Kemp?
Yeah, that's the problem with when you have those discussions with people is like people think that these things are binary and they just stay the same throughout every single year. And it's like, we're playing in literally different years. Shaq, guys, and one of the highlight plays you guys see of Shaq, he dunked on someone and then straight up pushed them down. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can't do that now.
Funny though. But my point is like, with the way that fouls go, Shaq just backing someone up, he's going to get the foul and the bucket every time. So even if he hits 50%, right, he's going to get fouled 20 times. The dude's getting 27. So you're going to give him 37 points a game, even if he shoots only 50% from foul line. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. The way that like guys can't go to the basket nowadays is just crazy. Like what's more crazy in a game? When you see a dude sink a three or you see a dude cut and get into the paint and like do something. That's why they're so impressed by that, because it's like, holy crap, they did something. Like, because you could just load everybody in the paint, or if you wanted to, and just
Michael, you gotta stop clout chasing. You're glazing too hard. God, Michael, you're such a glazer. All right, let's get into our
let's get into this.
Also, for anyone that watches this show on the replay, you watch the actual clipped video that we normally do in these shows. This man is insane. So if you're listening to him, you're listening to the ramblings of a mentally ill patient from a insane asylum, honestly.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure people can just look at the conversation, right, and see what sounds more insane. And I never call you insane.
But you also call me a clout chaser.
No. I didn't even know what that meant. Until like you could have said anything there. And you could have been like, oh, this man's a coconut chaser. And I'd given you the same, okay.
I'll be honest, if anyone eats coconuts, they're weird because that tastes gross.
Have you ever had like a fresh coconut off of a tree?
I never have. I only had like coconut flavored stuff is like Mounds bars
like
and shit like
fresh,
that.
Fresh coconut off a tree, like the soft part. Oh, dude, that's so
good. Are you a mint kind of guy? Like you like mint flavored things? No, same
not
here.
Really.
Ooh,
my wife likes like mint chocolate and like stuff
really?
like
the green mint chocolate. She likes that.
I think like mint chocolate chip and stuff like she likes that shit. I'm not a fan.
Mint just tastes gross. Like it's too strong. Like
I'm not a fan.
Yes, but I did end up having sex with a girl. I didn't.
No,
I'm lying. I'm a virginless, pathetic loser that sits in his house all day doing.
I don't know why your scales are like so opposite ends of the spectrum. You either are like the greatest, richest, sexist man alive, or you're just the biggest loser, nothing, broke joke of a person. There's no in between with you.
I'm like DC, man. I'm all in.
Okay.
And they don't even know if they're all in. They're kind of like halfway in there. Pause. So let's have some fun, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Hey everyone, I am MSK, aka Master Swag King, coming at you guys today with another video. And if you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video. And in today's video, we are going to be doing a comic book review on the Summer of Superman special, issue number 1. So what is the Summer of Superman special? So this is a one-shot comic book that is actually broken up into 3 chapters from 3 different known writers from the DC Comics company, actually. So you have Mark Waid, who actually wrote chapter 1. Then you also had Dan Slott, who's coming into chapter 2. Then you also have Joshua Williamson writing chapter 3. Holy crap. Wait a minute. Hold on. What the fuck?
What?
Hold on. I almost want to fuck me in the ass.
What? That doesn't. Why?
Do you ever see CSI? All right. Hey everyone, I am MSK, aka Master Swag King, coming at you guys today with another video. And if you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video. And in today's video, we are going to be doing a comic book review on the Summer of Superman special number 1. So what is the Summer of Superman special? So this is a one-shot comic book broken up into 3 chapters from comic book writers that are obviously known for, DC comic works. And then you have a guy coming in that is also primarily known for his Marvel comic book work. So the writers in this one shot are Mark Waid, who is a person who is actually mentally deranged, but he has written some very, very good comic books. Then you have Dan Slott. Dan Slott's from Marvel, actually, but he ended up basically not getting any work at Marvel Comics anymore. And then he is going to be the writer on Superman Unlimited, a new ongoing Superman comic book series later coming out this summer. Then you also have Joshua Williamson. Should need no introduction. He has written so much stuff. He's written Duke, Cobra Commander, Superman, Green Arrow. He's written so much shit. He's still currently doing his Superman ongoing series at DC Comics, and he is the 3rd writer. So James Gunn announced this book a few months ago, and if you guys haven't had a chance to check out our video when we actually covered the news, I would highly recommend you guys go and check that out. That way you guys can get the other information about what this book is. So just in case you do want to kind of buy it for yourself and read it, you can go and do so. So this book Oh God, this man is crazy. So this book essentially is kind of what Ghost Machine did for their one shot. You kind of have a bunch of stories, and then they kind of are supposed to entice you to kind of, either buy more of the product, or you kind of just go, this is not for me.
Really? Because it just told a singular story.
I just went off what the announcement said, but
I don't look at it as the Ghost Machine one-off at all.
I guess
It had
there
like
was a
multiple
comparison.
different books in it.
Yeah. So this is something where I was initially really hyped about it because it just sounds kind of cool. As you guys know, I'm a huge fan of Superman. I love the big boy, Blue Scout. He's the Man of Steel. It's one of my favorite superheroes of all time. I do love this art right here. This art by Jorge Jimenez. This actual picture right here just looks so damn good. I love this art right there. And this book promises us unlimited adventure, nonstop action, and then Superman's newest era beginning. But I'll highlight this.
There was a lot of stop action in this.
Yeah, this is a comic book that I would kind of say that if you actually just take this for what it is and you just kind of read it all the way through, you're going to probably enjoy it. But if you've actually read other prior stuff like we have, you're going to be going like, what the hell is going on here? So remember, most of the DC books, because this is something that Scott Snyder talked about, that we talked about as well, that just is not possible. So the idea behind DC All In was that, you have no reboots, but another key thing that people actively forget was that most books were supposed to be a jumping on point just in case you weren't able to kind of, gather and read all the books because of maybe like financial concerns, right? Just an idea that was maybe thrown out there, right? So if you read something like this without knowing anything about Superman, pretty sure you might enjoy it. But I'll be honest here, after having watched like every Superman movie to ever exist, most animated ones, most Superman TV shows, the stories in here, guys, I've seen these before. It's very like slice of life-ish. It's stuff that this stuff is coming from a mile away. That's it. Now, the only surprise that is going to be in here is this is a spoiler. So in Joshua Williamson's run, Lois Lane, the lady who's, Superman's love interest for hundreds of years at this point, she inherited powers from General Zod after the Absolute Power event. So she is Superwoman. And some people would say, well, isn't Supergirl Superwoman? Yeah, but just stop being nerds. That's just what she is. Later on, she does end up losing her powers. But in this book, if you're confused as why Lois is a Kryptonian, she has Zod's powers. So that's why she's able to fight with Superman. But just want to make sure I clear that up.
At the end of Absolute Power, all the powers went back, but they didn't all go back to the right people. That's how she has powers. There you go. That's it.
So this is supposed to essentially also hype you up for these writers to have their own Superman stuff. So before we go through the actual book itself, if you go to like the very, very end, which is awesome because this is something I will praise the book for. All these advertisements were in the back of the book. Thank God. Thank God these weren't in the middle of reading this because I would have a stroke. So you have all this stuff coming up. Mark Waid is essentially doing his own run on Action Comics where he's going to explore Clark's backstory. And it's like, guys, Action Comics is literally at what, like 1,080 issues. I'll be honest, I haven't read all of them, obviously, because I'm not a fucking insane person like that yet. There's no way you will convince me that his backstory has not been explored when he was a kid in Action Comics when it's damn near at 1,000+ issues. But whatever.
Well, little parts have, but like no one's ever written like a straight up.
That's crazy to think about at this point. That's insane.
Sure, well, I'm not saying that there has been. Maybe they're taking it in a different take because there have been like books and chapters, but I haven't read everything. Like obviously, but I'm wondering if this is like the first Superboy Superman book because he was Superboy. He was Superboy.
Yeah,
when he was a kid, and maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
And initially, I thought, hey, if they're going to do Superman Unlimited, basically launching that with a number one, I thought they were going to be canceling Joshua Williamson's run, but apparently they're not. No. Joshua Williamson's run is going to continue, and that's going to be with Joshua Williamson and Dan Mora. Dan Mora, obviously, fantastic artist, best artist right now.
There has to be a
mainline
There has
ongoing
to be a
Superman book.
mainline all-in
Yeah.
book. That's what I was telling you before. Like, they're not going to cancel it.
Yeah, and the Superman Unlimited, obviously, as we explained earlier in the video, Dan Slott comes from Marvel Comics. He's the guy known for Superior Spider-Man, as you guys all like that story when Doc Ock took over Peter Parker and he became Spider-Man for a little bit there. That guy, that fat, ugly, disgusting human being, is going to be writing on Superman. Is he going to do a good job? I don't fucking know. I'll read issue 1.
Hey, he's got Raphael Albuquerque on pencils. So
what a name! Oh, I like the art is very good. I will give him that.
Great.
It looks great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you have the preview for Supergirl. It's written by the Looney Tunes, Sophie Campbell. Who knows if that's going to be good? These people are mentally ill.
I'm not going to read it.
Who knows?
I'll probably give it a shot just because of I'll probably just give everything a shot through the summer. You know, might as well try it. But Crypto, I just have a feeling that I'm not going to be reading them.
You have Crypto, The Last Krypton. This is like, it's just an origin story on Crypto, apparently. I don't even know.
I don't know if it's an origin story. It just seems like it's like little Clark. You know, he's a baby, and they do little adventures.
And the next one is Adventures
But they do give the origin for him. You know, because I don't know. Here's the thing. I don't know if he's ever had... I'm sure he has, but I don't know if he's ever had like a full in-depth origin.
Yeah, because it's a dog. I mean,
but I mean, like they did explain, like when he did come around, like they did explain, like, you know, where he's from and stuff like that. But I always thought it would have made more sense that if Crypto was a Daxamite, like because they had Daxamites come down, so it would have made sense.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And then
you're just wondering what the hell's a Daxamite. That's probably
I'm more of a cat person. I like cats more than dogs, honestly.
Well, I'm just saying Daxamite, not dogs. Daxamite are people that are like Superman.
You have a new maxi series, Adventures of Superman, Book of L.
So
this is written by Philip Kennedy Johnson, the guy that did Superman War World. We know he's known for that. He's the newest writer on Batman and Robin. Joshua Williamson was that, but then they went to him.
Right.
You excited for that one?
I don't know. I'm definitely excited for the next one. So like,
the Treasury Edition?
Yeah.
Superman Treasury Edition 2025 Hero for All. Writer Dan Jurgens, he was the guy writing the Superman Rebirth series a long time ago. I'm pretty sure he was.
He's the guy that was writing a lot of the best Superman. He wrote Man of Steel, the Man of Steel books that were just phenomenal. Like that's what I always tell people. If you want to get into Superman, you want to start and you don't know where to go, look for the Dan Jurgens. Why can't I think? I can't think right now.
So that's fine. Basically, this is going to be a book of essentially in this all new Treasury Edition, quintessential Superman writer Dan Jurgens pairs with the modern master of sequential art, Bruno Redondo, to craft a larger than life story of power, tragedy, action, and all above hope. I'll definitely get it. I don't know if it's going to be an ongoing series or it's going to be a little, it's a one shot, as I said. Duh, I can't read.
I don't know. Dan Jurgens was the one that did, was writing back then. Man of Steel was John Byrne. I can't. That's what I meant. John Byrne is who you want to go with if you want to start. Read the Man of Steel.
You need
John
coffee.
Byrne.
Drink coffee, sir. Oh my God.
I'm sorry. I get things wrong from time to time. My bad.
And you know what's crazy? My wife left me last night for Tyrone. So after that, we have the final ad, which is so basically, essentially, I like the way they're doing this more than they did it last year. We get a bunch of tie-in books and all that shit. The We Are Yesterday event is a collaboration of Batman, Superman, World's Finest, and Justice League Unlimited. And that makes perfect sense because Mark Waid and Dan Mora do both series. So they're just going to have their most known people right now currently doing the crossover. So you basically just jump from World's Finest to JLA Unlimited. And I even said that when this initiative started, hey, you have a JLA book, run every big event through that. Only that. Because that's where all the big events should be, because that's the damn fucking Justice League. And it's apparently now unlimited, like the animated cartoons that we used to watch when we were growing up. So there's all these superheroes here. They can definitely deal with whatever villains that are coming up. But outside of like the advertisements, we're gonna get into the actual story itself.
Well, I want to correct myself before I say anything. Dan Jurgens was one of the people with, I think, Louise Simonson I wasn't pointing at the Triangle Era, the Death of Superman,
That's
and
Superman,
he
yes.
read like the Reign of the Supermen. That whole thing, that's Dan Jurgens. Sorry. I don't know why I did that, but the John Byrne is what I always tell people, the Man of Steel books. If you can get those trades or whatever, those are fantastic. That's a
Okay.
very good starting point. Plus, it's one of the best ongoing, not now, but was at the time, ongoing Superman books. You know, John Byrne's really good. Dan Jurgens does a damn good job. Like, they all had a very good grasp on Superman. So it's like, and Roger Stern is the one who does I believe, the Triangle Era. I could be
Okay.
wrong. You'd have to look at it,
That's
but
fine.
I'm pretty sure it's Roger Stern.
I will say this is if you've never read a Superman anything comic, let's just say that. If you read this, I guarantee you'll have fun with this because you have no prior knowledge of what ever went on.
It's not bad. It's nothing bad, right? It's just,
isn't this basically like Smallville? It's Smallville a lot.
No, it is. It's all in. It is in Smallville, the first chapter. It's
sorry,
all
man,
like,
sorry, Smallville, the TV series that a lot of you guys know.
That I don't know. I didn't watch that. My wife did though. She loved it. She loved that show. She really did. She
really
liked all those like DC shows from, like, you know, the Flash and Green Arrow.
Yeah. That's what this felt like to me. The first chapter felt like an episode of Smallville back in the day. Like, this is essentially, if you wanted a slice of life Superman book that doesn't really have any like huge stakes or big consequential universe ending things that'll happen in the future, this is kind of what the book is. Like, if the book is designed to just get you to be a fan of Superman, I don't think that the job is bad here. I think you will probably be a fan of him. But then again, I think the real issue with the book is that it doesn't really have a villain. Like, most people follow Superman because they like him fighting his villains. There's no real actual villain here from the fight, unless you consider the villain Gladius or Time.
Like, it's Validus. He does fight. He does fight him, you know. But you're right. It is more. Why is if you know Validus, he comes from the Legion of Superheroes. It's like 3,000 years in the future. Blah blah blah. All that crap. So whenever Clark would go visit with the Legion of Superheroes, he did so when he was a kid, right? And they basically, it's like this perfect society that Superman you know, helped build by being an awesome superhero, basically. And they're all like, oh my God, like, you know, that's like their, I don't want to say God, but basically, you know, everybody looks up to him. And that's with Brainiac 5, where he's like, not really, he's Brainiac, but he's an actual good guy. He's like a younger teenager. And they have things like, whenever they would hang out with him, they would wipe his memory of anything that he learned about himself from the future. So like, when he hung out with them, he would go, but they would wipe his mind. Now, he shouldn't remember those things, right? He shouldn't have memory of that stuff. So when Validus, and you'll see, comes here, there's like, you should be asking like, well, why is he here? That's why I hated the whole, this is a jumping on point and this is this, because if it's not, you just have to take their word for it. Oh, this is a guy from this era and he does it. But if you don't have any real context of it and know of it, you're just taking it at face value. And I don't like that as a jumping on point for people, because most of them are going to ask, well, what's the Legion of Superheroes and what's Validus? So I got to go look up and Google, a jumping on point should be like Absolute Batman, where you have a very limited, understanding of the character, and you could just read. You don't have to know Bruce Wayne. You just have to know that character in that book right there. That's it. But this preys on the whole, like, his relationship with Lana Lang, his relationship with Lois, how he had to choose between blah, 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 and he knew like how he had that memory that we'll get to when he was a kid, all that stuff. So if you don't know those things, you're only taking it at face value because they're telling you in this book. You don't have a prior knowledge of it. And I think that's where it pays off more for people who have the prior knowledge of it. But if you're a new person, you're going to feel like maybe a little bit slighted because you don't have that history of reading that character. Does that make sense? Okay. That's how it felt to me.
Yeah.
That's just, so I was a little bit like, it's cool, but it's not at the same time.
Yeah. It's one of those things where I don't understand the idea of having all three of them write each different chapter, because it felt like each chapter was the same and not different at all. I initially thought it was going to be like an anthology book where Mark Waid does his own story, Dan does his story.
Understand. I totally understand. Like,
I don't think there was a need for three writers.
Well, that's why
that's
why I'm saying, like, this was more about time and the things being out of place than it was. That's what I'm saying. That's
the villain is just existence of time.
No, it's what's going on with time. Why are things being displaced? Why is he having memories he shouldn't have? Why is he like all that stuff, which leads you to what happened? Because if this is a jumping on point, right? And we won't give away the ending. How does that ending make sense to you?
Oh, you're gonna be lost. You're gonna be like, what
exactly?
The fuck?
That's what I'm saying.
That's why I don't know why there was an epilogue here. Because like when we get to the epilogue, I think that is one of the most just throw shit at the wall, seeing what sticks.
Oh, I don't. I don't, because it had Validus there and it explained why he was going.
No, I don't know if that was necessary for this book to have that.
I understand that. That is my point. That it did not need to be there, but since it is there and they used Validus as that catalyst, they didn't need, like you said, have to have three different people write this, because it was one full book. Like, there was no difference in writing. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't get like Wade's interpretation. You didn't get Williamson's interpretation. You got DC's interpretation of where they wanted to go. And it felt like they just told a Superman story just to have the last 2 pages make sense. And that, if you haven't read all of the other stuff, you don't care.
Yeah. Because even in the Justice League Unlimited #1 book, they didn't even tackle on the Booster Gold stuff. Like, Booster Gold was just in the All-In special and kind of just,
he was gone.
We didn't know what happened to him until, I guess, right now, guys. Yeah, it's just how great their continuity and how they're tying things up, let's just say. So that's just my early thoughts of what I was thinking about reading this. I truly thought going into this, I was going to get 3 different stories from, like, Action Comics with Mark Waid to his, Joshua Williamson, his Superman run, and I thought we were going to get a preview of, like, Superman Unlimited for what Dan Slott's going to do. That's what I initially thought, but it turns out that didn't happen. So after having, I guess, the only ad right here, and that is a beautiful piece of art right there from Ralph Albuquerque. What a damn name that guy has. Fucking hell.
It looks great, man.
So essentially, chapter 1, if we're gonna be
his name is Raphael. Ralph.
Raphael. Oh, I love that name. I was a Raphael back in the day when I was in my prime. Joking, everyone. So
you were a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle?
I was more like Leonardo. I'm more like a leader, smart guy.
Oh, so you're just a big dork that nobody likes. Everybody hated Leonardo. He was so
damn, man,
like just a butthole in the cartoons. He's way better in the comics, though. I give him that. Way better in the comics.
So chapter 1 is basically Clark. Okay, if you guys ever watched Smallville, the TV show, this is essentially what this would be. Clark, Early's love interest is Lana Lang. She's the small town sweetheart. Everyone loves her.
Yeah,
he's about to tell her she loves her. This is the most cliche shit you guys have probably. You have to read comics. If you've watched any Superman movie, animated movie, show, anything, this is the most cliche shit ever to start a book off with. Hey, this girl I could never get because she's just the most perfect everything.
But she likes him, and she's been waiting for him to tell her. He's a dork, but she doesn't care. She's like the perfect cheerleader, helps old people, should be stuck up like every other person in that medium, but no, she loves Clark.
She's different. She's different.
Yeah, no, there it is. She's different.
He's about to say, I love you, but then as we know with this kind of stuff, a villain appears and he has to go take care of the villain.
That's right. No, first it's even more cliche because I gotta go to the bathroom.
And he's probably gone for like 2 hours.
You take more shits than any other person, Clark. What is going on? You need something like a
nothing clicked in her brain. Because this is crazy. You know how like he shoots out of his house like that? How did she not hear when he breaks the sound barrier when he flies that fast? I imagine when he's that young, he can't control how fast he goes. How did she not hear him?
Maybe she just already knows and is like mad that he hasn't told her, you know? Because there is a couple times where whenever he does tell her, because he always does, like, because it's his best friend. And there was one time where she like already knew because like there was things like that he did, like he saved her one time from the corn thresher or whatever. Like he did, like those big things that cut corn. They run through cornfields. It was about to run her over, and he picks it up.
I'm a pornography enthusiast.
What?
It's a porn joke. Cornography. Yeah, the sense of your
cornyography is what you're spewing right now. Only you would take corn thresher and turn it into a porn joke.
Oh God!
Like if someone, I swear, dude, if someone like says anything that rhymes with anything, you're gonna make the joke.
You gave me a layup. I have to dunk it.
That's not a layup. Okay?
Was that a free throw?
No. Pretend I'm stupid because I am. What's the joke?
Well, on YouTube, if you want to make sure your videos are monetized, you say the word corn instead of porn. If you ever are doing like, I don't know, discussion videos generally.
But what's the joke?
Yep. Oh, sorry. I don't know. I was just doing it because I'm a genius, actually.
Right. So I want to know. No, you're not getting out of this. I want to know what the joke was. I said corn thresher. And you said porn.
Yeah, I'm a cornography enthusiast. All right. So
I hate my life right now.
Superman Clark realizes to himself as the most cliche thing, but the moment was not right. Art thou lady
enthusiast. I hate you right now.
This is so cliche. The part right here, everyone, where he's like, "This is the day where I knew it wasn't the right time, my lady."
I know. Yeah, he takes down his. He's like, what I want to know is this. He's like, God. He does this, right? He goes like this to do this. Look, he takes down his glasses to look through his glasses. Like, not even like a couple panels later. It's literally the next panel.
Oh, God. That first part, like literally the first page and a half, guys, I swear to God, that's something out of like a Cinderella movie or something. Like one of those chick flicks you guys watch.
It's like one of those corn movies.
Yes. Have you seen porn plots recently? They got better. But then he appears in front of the villain, I guess, for this book, which is
he appears in front of a bad guy.
The bad guy. This art right here, done by Jorge Jimenez, was very, very good. I think the art in the book was great.
Yeah, art's great. Art's fantastic.
So he starts fighting this villain, and they do tell you it was a person that he had fought alongside the Legion of Superheroes right here in this text right there. But to be honest here, if you didn't know who the Legion was, you're gonna be like, who the fuck are those people? Honestly.
Yeah, like they tell you, he's like, he's got the brain of a toddler, but he's very strong. Like he's more powerful than Superman, like in terms of raw strength. Like, and he's they fought tons of times, and that's kind of what he's like saying. Like, the main question coming from this is not Validus is attacking. It's how is he here? Why is he here?
That's the big question throughout the book, actually. And Clark throws him away from the civilians because even though he's that young in his superhero career, he still doesn't want people to get hurt. The heart of Superman is still there. So this is the part that I was so confused at. He like grabs him and then tries to toss him to throw him, and then now they're in a different dimension.
No, look right here. The thing opens up.
Yeah, I saw that. I was just confused. Like, he could throw him that hard to throw him into another dimension. That's pretty cool.
It's not that he threw him into another dimension. Validus is time slipping. thing opened up and he threw him into it.
Yeah.
That's what happened. He didn't throw him so hard. He went to a different dimension. The time stream opened up and he went into it.
This is so comic book stuff. Oh my God.
Well, yeah, and it has to be because it is a comic book.
And then it gets to a point where he's in this time stream where he sees his past, present, and future. That's what chapter 1 is essentially called. And then he sees the end of it where he's, married to Lois Lane and they have the son. But then it ends up he ends up trying to hit through Validus and it stops. And then earlier on, he revealed that he can remember the past, but he can't remember the future because that would have some terrible implications for the future if you actually knew what was actually going to happen. But then he saw that he wasn't going to marry Lana, everyone.
Yep.
Full circle. He's going to marry a different woman. Man, this is just how my life turned out, No. And then after that, he basically goes, Lana, I'll see you tomorrow. I'm feeling bad. This is the most cliche of Mark Waid, known for writing some of the best comics in people's lives, wrote the most cliche shit on this planet. Because that was Mark Waid's. He was up first. Then chapter 2, it's Dan Slott's turn. And, Lana was like, you know what? White boys don't do it for me. I got to go get some BBC. And that's what she did. She ended up getting engaged to John Henry Irons, who you guys know as the person is Steel. Steel is going to marry Lana. That's the next chapter, written by Dan Slott.
They're at their wedding, they're setting up for a good old good old wedding.
And then more cliche stuff happens, like in a marriage episode of TV. Oh, well, I don't know if I should marry you because then bad stuff might happen during the marriage. I don't know what's going to happen during this day. Anything might happen.
So then she goes and talks to the guy who she wants to marry, Clark.
Yes.
And while they're talking, the old butthole in the sky opens up and, hey, it's Validus again.
Hey, Validus is back. He's like that black guy in that one TV show where he has that viral clip, surprise, motherfucker. Oh, you're back. Didn't I just deal with you 1,000 years ago? But no, Validus is back. And then the whole super family suits up and starts fighting.
All there. They just happened. It's a good thing they were all there, though,
I did like this panel right here where him and Lois sprung into action together. That was really, really cool.
Oh, dude. Jimenez can draw Superman and Superman poses and stuff like that very well. He's very good.
I was surprised Lana Lang had powers. I was like, she has powers? And she's a super whatever she is? I don't know what her powers are. I'll be honest with you guys, I did not know Lana had powers. I always thought her as just a human. That's what she mostly is, generally speaking. But no, she has powers. And essentially, Superman fights Validus. Lois ends up saving Pa Kent after he was swept away in a tornado. And then the other two end up helping other people. Superman punches Validus and he goes back into that time stream again. And then at the end of the book, basically in that chapter, she reaffirms her decision to marry John. But you could tell Lana wanted Clark still, even when he was married, even when she was engaged to John. You can tell. I don't know.
The worst part is he's like, all right, I get it. Things are messed up. It basically looks like a tornado hit here. We don't have to get married. She's like, shut up and marry me now, John Henry Irons. What? You are right. It is massively cliche. You are 100% correct.
You know what's even better about the thing you just explained? After they had dealt with literally world-ending events in their own town, that's when she realized, hey, this might be the man for me. Not the guy that she'd been engaged to for almost probably 5 years. No.
Yeah,
I had to wait until a time-dimensional... I had to wait till an interdimensional villain that travels because he's trapped, come out of a butthole portal, cause tornadoes. I'll never understand women. No, Dan Slott, you did a great job. You firmly confirmed that women are the most confused creatures. She was like, I'll marry you now, finally, after I fought a villain that almost destroyed my hometown. Yeah,
it is kind of stupid that's when that's the thing, and I'm sure maybe she was just having jitters or whatever, but he wanted to give her a nice wedding, and now that's out of the question, she's cool with it. Like,
but she had to make sure she talked to her best friend about the
oh,
decision
they
first.
besties gotta talk it
Wait,
through.
can guys and girls be friends? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah, they can.
had, yeah. I mean, certain times.
Wait. Are you seriously one of those people that think that guys and girls can't be friends?
No, I'm saying that's what they were kind of implying throughout the book with like.
No, that's not what
women.
I'm saying. I'm asking you.
I think it really just depends on intentions behind both parties.
That
I'm not saying
doesn't
it's not
make any
impossible.
sense. That's
I'm
not
not saying it's not
if the
impossible.
intentions are to be friends.
Yeah, no, I agree. I would say, yeah, you can be friends.
I don't
There,
see
you
why it's
can.
so different. Like I have a bunch of friends that are girls.
Most
My wife isn't jealous of any of them.
That's because your wife is not insecure, unlike other women
I
that are
mean,
mentally
like
deranged.
I
Also,
don't know.
your wife's like, older. She's already kind of been there, kind of done that. I would imagine she just doesn't look at life that way, unless like she knows.
I mean,
you're not
she's
gonna
never
do
really
anything.
jealous of any girls, really. Like she just wasn't.
Oh,
Like
okay.
I don't know. Maybe that's because like I guess the intention. But I mean, I don't know. Like I don't look at as a girl as every single girl that I meet is with the possibility of like reproducing with that person. Or doing the hat dance with them. Like it's not
Yeah,
always about that. Now, a person who that's literally their only goal in life and that's all that consumes them, yeah, probably shouldn't be around the other sex. But I mean, my God, it's like that's
yeah.
not. I don't just meet a girl and the first thing I think of is like, oh, I wonder what she looks like naked.
Because
I know that's what you do.
I have female friends, and I mean, I don't know. Like when you have a female that's a friend that you look at without the sexual intention behind it, you look at it and go, you know what? No offense, and I mean this in no offense. Anyone watches this, I wouldn't be interested in you. Just being honest, because
That's so not true.
but because I'm a professional, just joking. But throughout the first two chapters,
I love how you say no offense, but you're about to say something offensive.
I'll say this: throughout the first two chapters, it really felt like Lana really wanted Clark to just admit that he loved her, and she was like waiting for him to do it. But then I'm still not gonna go over this. We had to wait to a time trapped interdimensional creature comes out after not being in Smallville forever and have this big event happening with tornadoes that were destroying people's property for her to be convinced that she needed to marry John. Whatever. It's okay.
I mean, maybe that's just what happened. Maybe that's not what she needed for it. That's just what happened in the book. But yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And then
Clark,
the best friend,
really argue,
had to reassure her that's a good idea to marry John after
and
whatever.
Isn't it funny that like Jorge Jimenez can get like his regular books done and like this giant book, and Jim Lee like needed like 32 months and a week to not even do a great job. Like I told you, man, did you look it through that yet?
I've seen some of the art pages of it. The art looks kind of off.
I told like you, man. Lee. Like when me and Lunchbox were talking about it on the show, I was like, I just wanted someone else to look at it because I don't really talk to people outside here like that about comic books. I don't really have friends that read comics. So like it was just so bizarre because I'm thinking Jim Lee, like I'm thinking like regular Hush book. This just is not. It's not there. I don't know what it is. Not saying it's bad art by any stretch of any imagination, but yeah, I don't know. Doesn't look as good as it did.
Then you have the final chapter, which is chapter 3. And this chapter is supposed to be the full circle. So Lana ends up marrying John. She marries a black guy. She's basically, she went black and she's not going back. That's how it works. I don't make the rules. And then Superman is like, you know what? We should kind of find out what's happening with Validus. Buddy, you knew this in chapter 1. Did you not question like, hey, why was that guy having that problem with himself? But whatever. We got to push the story forward. Don't think.
Well, even if he didn't, like, I would think by the time he showed up again, like, you'd be like, hey, Lana, that's awesome. You're getting married. I'm gonna go find out what's happening with this weird creature that keeps coming. I'm happy for you. I'm sure you and John will be great together. I gotta go. Good luck.
But then the final part before we get to that is Clark has a moment here with Lana where one of the text says, "It's these moments that show me how much of my life can be unpredictable." Clark, I don't know if you've lived your life. Your life's been unpredictable ever since, I don't know, checks notes. You've crash landed on Earth as an alien and you got adopted by humans. Your life's been unpredictable since it began. But all of a sudden, this moment, it's unpredictable. Clark, stop it.
Maybe it's just a reminder. It's just a reminder.
Clark,
I don't know, dude. Like I said, I didn't really enjoy this.
Turn off brain. Consume. Get ready for next product. Thank you, DC. But moving on to the next part. So now all of a sudden, Clark calls Mr. Terrific.
You're about to say Mr. Fantastic.
Fucking hell. This book blew my mind. The dialogue is so fun here. The dialogue is very wholesome.
Well, it's a good thing he has a T on his face, or I'd forget how terrific he was.
God. But I will say this: the dialogue in the book and the pacing it's fine. It's just
it's nothing. Yeah, it's nothing bad. Nothing's written bad. The pace is fine. Nothing is outwardly terrible. It's just like you said, I wasn't expecting it to just be one singular story. I was expecting something different, but this is what they gave us. Okay. I still don't know why. Like that's why I said I think this is supposed to be more about time. And I know that's stupid. You hate that, but what other? I
never said you're wrong. I agree.
Well, I'm just saying though, if you think about it, what other reason would there to be showing him as a kid in the story that they've told, except for, oh, this is my relationship with Lana, unless that's the crux of the story? What other reason was there to show him as a child? There's none, except he fought Validus at that time and saw his future.
Because the only thing that I would say for the time thing, as you said, is I guess the point of the book is supposed to just give you points in Clark's life where he was young when he had powers versus when he was older with them versus when now he's a lot more just, he's a complete character.
But that doesn't make any sense. That's just him.
Yeah. And I was going to say, that's stuff we've already seen 1,000 times before. That's nothing new. That's
just Superman. That's not a story.
Yeah. And then
he's had powers the whole time. It's just, that's why I'm saying this is the story. This is it.
You get to this point where Superman finally wants to figure out what is keeping Validus in this time stream that he's trapped in.
Yeah.
And then they get him out. He grabs a machine and Validus is still there and he pulls him out.
He does.
Validus punches him.
He sure does.
And then I forgot the character that's right here. I forget her name. Is this
Omen?
This is Omen, right? So apparently she has Martian Manhunter's powers or something like that. Unless I'm wrong.
No, she definitely does not have Martian Manhunter's powers.
Because they said she got powers from someone from the Absolute Power event or whatever.
Listen, I'm telling you now, she does not have Martian Manhunter's powers. I could tell you who does.
Oh no, it's fine. No, I'm just saying
you're good. If you read the We Are Yesterday event, you know who has Martian Manhunter's powers.
So they're like, okay, what's going on with this guy? Because they have Omen kind of try to get inside his brain to figure out what's going on. And then what's crazy, guys? This is the biggest fucking middle finger of what this book does, despite being fun and weird in its own way. He just disappears again, just like the other times he did previously.
Well, this was a little bit different when he disappeared. They even mentioned like it's different.
He was scared this time around. Yeah.
No, I think he was pulled back. He was found.
And then you get the final monologue of the book where, that's some very, very good dialogue written in this book overall. And the final wholesome part of it, when they're in Metropolis is really, really cool. The summers would always end. The fall season would come. No matter how much I wished it wouldn't, but it's who we love here. And now that gives today meaning. Plus, the future is always full of surprises. Oh, very cute, very wholesome. But then, wait a minute. There's more. Then we get an epilogue. So, oh my God. remember back during the DC All In #1
Yeah,
special?
so hold on.
Book?
So I wanted to reread this again because I think you read something wrong. They weren't saying that Omen had Martian Manhunter's powers. They're saying she's a new member of the Justice League because Martian Manhunter doesn't have his powers. They're using her as him. She's always had like telekinesis and stuff. She's been around since the 70s. I think she was like did stuff with the Teen Titans back in the day. I could be wrong on that, so
you're right.
Sorry.
My bad. It's okay. No, it's good.
But that's they needed a couple of like different. You'll see when you get to the We Are Yesterday or whatever it's called event. You'll see they need like a couple of different psychic people because Martian Manhunter. Remember in the first issue we read, he went MIA because he was all pissed off that he didn't have his powers. He told the Question like, "Hey, I don't actually have my powers, so we're going in here blind." But anyway, go ahead. Sorry to interrupt.
No, it's good. Being corrected is good because that way I'll that was a different sentence. I don't know why I read that I mixed those in. Maybe it's because I was getting blown by my wife. Maybe. So, oh God. So in the DC All In #1 special comic book we reviewed, Booster Gold went to go do something, then he was just gone. He was just lost.
Let me I'm setting this up because this has been bothering me since that comic came out. He didn't just set something up and was lost. That's not what happened. Darkseid got the powers of the Spectre and he broke through some rift in either dimensional space and time, something, right? He just appeared in the Watchtower. They'd be able to fight him and then he would disappear. And then they'd be able to fight him and disappear. And then he looked like he died, right? And it created this crack in time that they could literally physically see, right? So they wanted to see what was in there, but they needed someone who had some type of chronal energy or something like that, who was used to doing time slipping, right? So Booster Gold said, I'll do it because I've done this a bazillion times before. And I'll have Skeets with me. And we could just do, hook me up to something. And if something's wrong, I'll press, do the button, I'll be yanked out, right? Well, as soon as Booster Gold went in there, the thing sealed itself and time went like, and they didn't know what they were doing. They knew like it went back to like 5 seconds before, right? So the thing's still there, the crack or whatever, but they don't remember that Booster Gold went in there. They just know that they went back to the time where they were asking, we should get someone to go in here, right? So when they show Booster Gold, he's like, oh, what the hell? And he's like, oh, crap, I know where I'm at. When he looks up and around, he sees the city, but it's got a bunch of Omega symbols.
Remember that? Right? Yep.
And then he sees Darkseid, and it looks like he has like a Green Lantern ring or a something ring, and he's all crazy looking. And we've been wondering like what's been going on with that forever, because that's what we thought created the absolute universe. So not the same planet that like Batman and Superman and absolute all that, Wonder Woman, not the planet that they're all on. Although it could be, maybe it's somewhere else, we just don't know. But it is a planet that exists in that universe. So we finally get this. This is like, this is the first time we've heard about anything from Booster Gold, period. Mm-hmm. At least to my knowledge, I've read the Challengers of the Unknown, which deals with the actual universe, like what happened to the universe since Darkseid has left, and like what happened to the fractures in time. And there's like all these anomalies that are all over the place, and they're looking out for those things. New Gods, like I said, I've only read the first issue, so I haven't got as much into it, but that deals with, because Darkseid is a 1 of 1. So even if there's like an Earth 1, Earth 2, Earth 3, Earth 4, Earth whatever, there might be multiple Supermen or Batmen, but there's only one Darkseid, and he exists. There's only a few characters that are 1 of 1. So him being gone has thrown the whole universe, the whole everything, source wall, all whatever you want to call it, into a crazy state of being.
I just never expected that Booster Gold tie-in from the DC All In #1 special. I never thought it would be in here.
Neither did I. I thought it would be in Justice League or something like that.
Which is where it should be. Yeah, that's where it.
Right.
So Validus ends up somewhere else. And then basically the big reveal of this is that one of the characters is just going to torture Validus.
Well, Validus shows up, right? And he sees, you see all these like different like bodies, and they have like spears in them and all this stuff. And then he gets hit, Validus gets hit with lightning. And these other people show up, and it says, got him. I'll show this monster what lightning really feels like. And then the other girl says, Darkseid won't be pleased if there are any disturbances to the timeline. We might have to explore the damage Validus has done to our Lord's designs. We must be careful. Lightning Lad. So that's Lightning Lad. Okay, cool. We might need this creature's gifts. And he says, perhaps we use Validus to torture our guest of honor. So then you turn the page.
Who's the guest of honor?
And there he is, tied up right there, Booster Gold. And it even says Booster Gold in his font and in his thing. And it says, Superman needs to know that the future is already lost.
And that's why the main villain of this Summer of Superman special was time. Because the future is already lost. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. I don't know. It's just empty words right there until we find out what happens later on.
Until we find out. Maybe it's like he exists, but it's in the future, maybe? I don't know. Like, we don't know. Because it could be, maybe he's existing in the time of the Legion of Superheroes, and we just don't know, like, because maybe the Legion hasn't been able to get back to tell them or anything. I don't know. We can't say anything until we know more, but it's weird that it happened in this book.
So out of place. I don't understand the decision.
I mean, I don't know.
I think the only real reason why they put it here is because I think it's something you said earlier before the review was this is a number one. It's going to have a lot of eyes on it.
It's special and blah 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 and all this stuff.
So they figured enough people that buy this will read it, and just based off cover art and all that stuff, it's going to be a reveal that'll track. Even when, because this has been out for like some weeks, it's been out for
a couple weeks.
It's not been like a big reveal everyone's kind of talked about, really. It's just been, you might be here.
I don't think anybody's really talking about it because they don't really, them revealing that they have him prisoner doesn't really mean anything because we still don't know where that is. We saw him go to whatever world Darkseid is there, but the only clue that I'm thinking that it is the future, right? That it could be maybe he went to a possible future, because when Booster Gold did go there, if you remember, he says, oh, I know where this is, so maybe there is a time and a place in the future where, Darkseid rules, and that's where Darkseid is in the future. But the repercussions of that happening created the absolute universe. Maybe Darkseid's not even in that universe. It's just that was the, from them fighting in the space-time and the blah, blah, blah. That's what happened. So we don't know. I'm sure we'll find out. Like I said, they definitely always have an end game. It just seems like getting there is a little bit wonky.
Yeah,
and you should have a beginning and a middle. They kind of seem to skip the middle. You know what I mean? They have a beginning and an end, and they're just like, we'll fill it in. And I hate comparing it with Hickman. I hate doing that. But he always has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And he's got a
whiteboard. There's a whiteboard in that man's house. He's drawing on everything.
Well, he does it for everything, though. Like, he does it for everything. So I'm just saying, like, that's why I kept telling you, like, when you were like, oh, this is so boring, this is this. I was like, dude, trust me, it'll pay off. It'll make more sense. You'll be wishing we had this for DC.
It's so weird now because this is something that, DC Comics knew a lot of people were going to end up getting. And it's supposed to be a preview book to kind of get you hyped for the Superman movie coming out. Because remember that was also a big thing that we read about too in the video, which was like, this is supposed to kind of get you, excited for the Superman James Gunn movie coming up. And it's like, they didn't even, it was crazy in his book, guys, out of all the advertisements, they didn't even advertise the Superman James Gunn movie in the book. It wasn't even an advertisement here. And it's like, I mean, I don't know why they needed Mark Waid, Dan Slott, and Joshua Williamson to do the stories. It all felt like the same.
Oh, that
story.
That was a publicity thing. That's exactly what that was. That
So,
was to sell books. That's all that was.
The epilogue just came out of nowhere. Hey, Booster Girl, remember that guy that got kind of fucked in the DC All-In Special #1? Yeah, he's here. He's trapped. He's being tortured. All right. I thought this was about Superman and about time. All right.
Well, the only thing is like, I think Superman is always the catalyst. Like, that's why when you said Wonder Woman's the main character, it's like, no.
Oh, no. Like, DC promotes her like a main character, but come on,
No, it's always Superman. Just look at Doomsday Clock. Look at everything that we didn't even know what the hell was like. Superman wasn't even a thing leading up to that. It was all Batman and the Flash. And then Superman became like the big thing that was, with Dr.
Manhattan. The only I remember from that, it was a comic book that I bought a long time ago. It was like a hollow foil cover where like Reverse Flash came back from the Flashpoint paradox, and then he started attacking Bruce, and then he just kind of randomly vanished. That's what I remember after reading that book. The art.
Oh no, he got killed. He didn't randomly vanish. He got killed. I have that. That's called.
It's the one where Batman's holding like that button.
Yeah, it's called The Button.
Yeah, I actually bought a single.
It's
that one. Yeah, that one.
It's from The Watchmen. That's
I had
the comedian's pin.
I had the single issue of that a long time ago. I read it. I think I gave it to James. I told him to read it. I thought he would like it. It was just kind of random. Like if that was a jumping on point for someone, you'd be so confused. Like, why is Batman fighting Reverse Flash? You're just like, what the fuck?
I mean, that's not a jumping on point though.
Definitely
like
isn't.
Literally in the middle of freaking Rebirth.
What is that called? So I can buy that.
It's called The Button.
It's called The Button. Okay, I know I've seen it before. Okay, I'll get it later on.
But like fighting him, and then all of a sudden, Dr. Manhattan comes and just incinerates him.
Yeah, I remember that. Yep, I remember. Mm-hmm. Damn,
this is great because Jason Fabok did the art for most of this, and this is a Joshua Williamson, Tom King special.
We know who was carrying that book.
Well, actually, Tom King, the Batman stuff was good. This is one of the few times where it was actually really good. Yeah, he did a very good job because he's like, they're watching this hockey game and Batman knows like he has like exactly like 1 minute before Flash shows up. So he has to, or how many ever seconds. So he has to last that long against Reverse Flash. And they're like showing the fight as the hockey fight is going on and someone in the game dies. Like he had an accident, like dies from the fight. So it's like mirroring the hockey. It's really well done, dude. That's what I said. Like the Rebirth to, I think, pretty much up through The Button and then to Doomsday Clock. All that stuff up to Doomsday Clock is freaking phenomenal, dude. Like it was really, really good. And I don't know. I thought Rebirth was fantastic. The Rebirth initiative, I thought it was great. I loved it.
So, what is your final thoughts and opinions on the Summer of Superman special #1? Unlimited adventure and nonstop action, man.
I mean, it's a cool book, but it's just, I don't know. There was just something about it that rubbed me the wrong way. I think it was just I was expecting something else. So when I read it, I was like, well, what are we doing here? Like, so it's not bad because it's not like they promised something different.
Mm-hmm.
This I guess was the reasoning for the whole time. And I'm sure there's things that I'm overlooking and not remembering that, like super comic book people would be like, no, this is why it was written this way. And this is this,
Mm-hmm.
and this. But I look at it as it was all about time, and that's what we should be looking at because the dark side and what Booster Gold said he said, I know where I am. So the only reason why he should know where he's at is because he's a, he's a time jumper. So it's got to deal with something in time as opposed to space. That's the only thing I can think of. So it was just weird that it was in this. I wasn't expecting it to be in a Superman book. I thought it would be in like the Justice League or something like that.
And for me, I thought this was kind of a very fun slice of life Superman story broken up into 3 chapters. The dialogue is good outside of being it mega cliche. The art from Jorge Jimenez definitely does carry the book a lot.
Yeah,
really well
art.
done.
Great
Man.
Art.
Other than that, if you're someone that's only watched like Superman media and you've not actually read Superman comic books before, you'll probably enjoy this a lot. But if you are someone that has read Superman comic books before, you're going to be like, wow, this is something that I've already seen before. And to be fair, if you actually watch Superman movies and TV shows, you've already seen this kind of story told 1,000 times. So yeah, that's my general thoughts and opinions. Definitely looking forward to a James Gunn Superman movie. We will be, reviewing other Superman stuff that comes out from this Summer of Superman initiative.
How much does DC miss Jason Fabok? Like,
I love that.
God,
part. So good. I love that.
Like Fabok's art, dude. Like, just I'm glad he's with Jeff Johns. I'll say that.
That's their own fault. They don't pay it. They don't pay people what they're worth. So they go.
I love the side comparison because here's the Flash one. Look how good he looks. Too. Like everything looks fantastic. And I thought if you just get this, the button hard and the DC Rebirth Deluxe Edition, it tells a pretty good story.
So yeah, just letting you guys know, as always, truth, justice, and the American way. So thank you guys for checking out this video. If you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel. If you have not already, leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video. I'm MSK, aka Master Swag King, and we're going to sign out, guys. See you guys later. Peace. Now I have to put this up. So
the Cavaliers are winning by 16 with 1 minute left in the third.
Ooh. They are. People were panicking after the Pacers won the first game. I was like,
I'm going to go watch this.
Let me see. 1 second, everyone. Who was in the chat here? Doing well. Just here to check out my boy Laps. Teach MSK the way. What do you mean? I am the all-powerful, all-knowledgeable God around here.
I'm going to go watch basketball.
So yeah, anything else you want to say or plug before we go?
No. What are we gonna read next week?
Finish up Absolute Batman. So I have Absolute Batman issues 6 and 7. So we can. Do
you want to do both 6 and 7?
I don't know if my brain can handle that. But
wait, why? It's like what? How many comics do you read on an average week? Like one?
Besides, probably like if I'm doing Savage Dad, for doing it Warren, probably.
Oh, so you only read them for shows?
Essentially, I'll because like I want to talk about them with people because it's way more fun than doing it by myself.
Listen, I understand that. Do you want to know how many I read? Do you want to know how many I read this week?
20.
I read about 7 single issues and like I think about 6 trades.
6 trades are a journey for me, but I love getting
trades
through them.
Take me one night, so I mean, like Omnis usually take me like 2 or 3 days.
League of Legends fans be like, "This is my motherfucking GOAT," and it's a 80-pound, 12-year-old Asian kid.
It's true.
To be fair, in basketball, people idolize black people who just shoot a basketball.
It's usually more because they're athletic and can do things that other people can't.
True. But I'll figure out what we're gonna do next week because, as you guys know, I'm going on vacation again. I'm going to Hawaii with my wife. Actually, I'm not. I'm just gonna be
unless that magical door back there is a portal to Hawaii, which I highly doubt.
I might be trapped in a time stream like Validus. Honestly,
ooh, if you're there, grab a bed.
You started the narrative about the shelves. Or the boxes. Why?
No, the shelves is what I started. Because you're the one that actually said it. You are the one that said it. So I just questioned it.
No, there was a part, I think it was last week, where you were like, I know that it happened because I've started the narrative and I was like, all right.
Yeah, well, it was actually no. If you remember, it was whenever Savage Dad said, "Oh, that's right, he doesn't
Oh
sleep on
yeah.
a bed; it's shelves." He's like, "Laps figured out it was shelves," and because it was like when I was talking about a bed, right? We were talking about your
Yeah.
bed, and you stopped. You did one of your, I'm talking about something, but I'm going to stop and say something completely random. And you were like, "Well, I don't have it because I don't have a shelf," and I was like, "You sleep on shelves?" And you were like, "What do you mean?" And I was like, "Oh, so you sleep on a shelf." Okay, I got it. So
Gosh.
that's you have levers and pulleys for legs and arms.
Well, it's been great. So we'll see you
So wait,
next week.
you have a fourth person coming? Who's this? Who's
After I do the one-on-one to see if there's compatibility, I said, hey, you want to start reviewing books? And he's like, sure, we'll just start with whatever you want. And then I'll have to decide what I'm going to take on. Because the reason why I need you, Warren, and Savage Dad, and this person is because I can get more books reviewed.
No, I get that
over time.
I asked, who is it? Another YouTuber?
Actually, yes. Should I reveal the name yet?
Why is this such a hard question? You act like I'm asking where the gold you hid was.
No. So it was someone. I'm pretty sure his name was Spencer. I'm pretty sure because I talked to Sean Stackhouse, who also reviews comics digitally because financial constraints, and then he had someone that follows him subscribe to the channel because he said, "Hey, you guys review books over here. I like doing that too." And I was like, "Oh, you can, we can review books if you want." You asked me to collab, and I was like, "Sure." We're supposed to do it one-on-one this Thursday.
So are you gonna act all MSK-ish on him the first time?
I am a normal human being.
No,
sir.
You're not. All you have to do is go back to the first show we did together and watch my facial expressions. Because you went full crazy on me the first day. The first time we did 3 intros, and I'm like going, "What is happening?"
God,
what
see, I have to give you the full MSK experience, like the Joe Rogan experience, actually.
Right. So you have to indoctrinate this person. How long are they going to last?
I have no. It sounds like it's going to be a person that's going to be here a while. I literally don't know. I'm going to do the. We've not. I checked out a few of his videos. They're okay. They're pretty solid for someone that's that size. I guess it's hard to say when someone's channel is that small. It's like
my channel is nothing. My channel is next to nothing. I barely do anything with it as it is.
Like his videos are. It's.
I'm just such an enigmatic personality. That's what it is. It's my personality.
I would say you're like LeBron James if you were white.
So I'm Lee Smith.
So that's what he did recently. So yeah, he mostly does streams now, and he dropped a video. Okay, so that's what he does. Okay, so he'll definitely fit in. The problem here is you always have to just do a one-on-one with people to see okay, what's this person's compatible with synergy and all that stuff to see okay, what's this person going to really be able to speak about with what they really, really like. That way they can contribute to the conversation. And essentially it.
So here's a question. Has Syfax been back?
What's the last time Syfax was on?
Months ago.
He was on 2 weeks before the meetup. So that was in March.
Yeah, but he hasn't even done nothing.
He's been mostly doing his own thing because he had some life stuff come up that he said, and he started streaming himself a lot more. That's what he told me. I can only tell you guys what other people tell me.
Okay, but think about it though. If you have life stuff come up, why would you do more streams of yourself?
He said it was.
I'm just honest with people. I don't do shit with my channel because I'm lazy as fuck. I'll sit here and talk with books with you because I read them. Dude, I've been on 4 times in the past 6 days.
Good Lord, yeah. This week, as well, I said before, you wanted the panel show at least maybe bi-weekly or once a month or something like that.
I just think it'll be fun.
Yeah. This week it's me and Savage Dad for our show, and then at the panel show after that, and then that's pretty much it.
Who's on the panel show?
Oh, that's what I do with Gray and Warren, Lunchbox Warren. That's when we do together after me and Savage Dad do our show. Me and Savage Dad show is supposed to be around 6, 7. That one's 8-ish. But if we start at 6, we'll be done an hour. So 7, 7:10. Then we start the panel show. I'll just rest for 20 minutes, get dolled up, get my makeup ready to look beautiful, and we do the show. We'll be lost when laughter leaves us. I gave this man a huge paycheck. The man ain't leaving anywhere.
What your panel shows tomorrow?
It's like 7:30, something like that. Yeah.
Let me know if you need me. I'll come on. I like Gray, and I like.
You're like, oh, he likes the other people more than me.
Did I say that?
That is implied.
Well, yes.
God.
No, I like doing shows with you. I have no problem.
Because I might have to change up
the only way I'll leave
tomorrow.
is if he makes me leave.
No, I was trying to figure out all last night what can the topic be, because there's Gray wanted to talk about Sinners, the box office, the MCU, because Fantastic. No, we got to do Fantastic Four, because a lot about Fantastic Four. And I know we have to go over that new official trailer we haven't talked about yet, and what Marvel's going to do. Yeah, we have. Yeah, that'll be the topic tomorrow. That. So because I don't want to keep you up that late.
No, just let me know. I'll let you know if I can come. If I can, then I will. Yeah. If I can't, then I'll just say no.
At the latest, we'll start at 7:30. But I have to know what Savage Dad's time. It's like if Savage Dad and me want to start at 5, because I can start at 5. But if I get off early enough, then we'll have to show at like 7 anyway. So I'll just let me message him right now.
Let me know. Just send me one of your weird cryptic messages on X about your wife, and I'll say something back, and then you'll talk about buttholes in space.
So I'll let you know what Savage Dad says. So I told him show tomorrow at 6, but if we can start early, we'll do it. And then that way, if you can come on, we'll do it. We'll have the panel show at 7.
Okay.
So just play it by ear. But yeah,
all right.
So yeah, you want to go watch basketball? I need to go eat.
No, yeah, I mean, do whatever, man. Yeah. All right.
Well, before we go, I never asked you this. Do you ever buy books off like whole those groups where they sell omnibuses and stuff like that?
What do you mean?
Like the Facebook Marketplace, they have like books or groups for people. I don't ever do that.
My thing is like, if I'm buying omnis, right? I want them to be brand new.
I want them to feel yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like it's just like I'm already making that much of an investment. Like I'd rather spend the extra $20.
I need it sealed in the wrapper. That's me.
Right. I'm and most of the time, like I actually do read them, so I'd rather get them new anyway, just because like who knows what condition you're gonna get the binding mostly, because that's a lot of weight to put on there. You know what I mean? Like it's just a lot of weight when you're opening the book and it cracks.
Yeah, and the dust jacket and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. I read all of mine. Like, I know it seems like it's in a cool order, but it's actually in an order that I know I'm going to read.
Would you ever do a video on a Batman omnibus reading order?
I mean, I could, yeah.
It wouldn't be that. I don't think it's that.
I think the Batman it would be kind of lame, just because it's all like Golden Age, then Silver Age, then then Bronze Age, and then it goes from there. I think what would be interesting would be an X-Men one, because once you
are insane if you do that. That is
well, that's what I'm saying. That's why it would make more sense. It would probably be a bigger video, because a lot of people don't know. You'd actually have to do research, because I have the Stan Lee and Jack Kirby X-Men, and then I have the Chris Claremont X-Men stuff, but I'm missing one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So like, and it has only go up to 5, and then you got to go Mutant Extinction or Extinction Agenda, and then Mutant Apocalypse, and then this, and then, you know what I mean? Like, so, and then you get into X-Men Volume 2, which is him and Jim Lee. Like they're not the original line of X-Men, because they did Volume 2, which was like a brand new thing. And then they did like the Gold Strike Force and the Blue Strike Force and all that stuff. So it was like that's a little bit different, But
X-Men, I would agree, probably has the most comprehensive, complicated reading order out of any of the
most complicated. Yeah.
There's all these, because it's not just X-Men. People don't know you have like New Mutants, X Factor, Weapons of X. You have like other smaller groups like that. I go into that.
I'd say it gets more complicated whenever Claremont came on, because if you wanted to read the original team, you had to read X Factor, and that like changes so many times. You know what I mean? Like that team changed, and then they came back to X-Men, And then, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then it was just very.
And you have all these different eras. Like you have the Jonathan Hickman House of X, whatever it's called, the one where like
that was like the
insane.
2019 era. Yeah.
They like Krakoa and all these different eras, and it's like, oh my god, I don't envy anyone doing.
Well,
X-Men
they
movie
ruined the Krakoa era because like that the reason why Hickman left is he had, like I said, he does 3-act structures. He was getting ready to end Act 1.
I heard that, yeah.
But it was so popular again. Like it was so popular that they were like, "Oh no. We want the Krakoa era to extend." And then they beat it into the ground and now nobody reads X-Men. You know, like, so he ended his with the Hellfire Gala, I believe. Or no, sorry, Inferno. That's right. Because I have everything. I have like House of X Powers of 10, Dawn of X, then 10 of Swords, then Reign of X, and then X-Men, Hellfire Gala, then Way of X, and then Inferno. Like I bought all those trades in order, and then the little Omni things.
Oh, that's my friend. What phase of the MCU do the Glurons get introduced? How are you done reading your? Are you done writing your book? He's an alleged author. Finish writing your book, you hack. Oh my god, goodness gracious! And he said he was going to make me a main character in his book, and I was going to be the hero of it. Thank you. No, he didn't say that. He said he was going to kill my character off in like 2 seconds. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. Tomorrow or later on tonight, I might do a Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel stream. I might, just depending on when I get done with my work here, because I have to edit some videos. And then Wednesday, I have the show with Savage Dad. And then I'm going to try and get that one done a little bit early, so that way we could, do the panel show early enough. Thursday, we have a one-on-one with someone.
Oh, yeah, your mystery guest.
Not him. He's the next week because we had to cancel this week coming up because I had already booked a girl for this week and I completely forgot. And I was like, wow.
Wait. Time out.
And I've met this girl in real life before.
And you haven't had sparkles on.
Have I had sparkles on? Oh, she's a different kind of girl. But this other girl is coming on Thursday.
I find that to be a slap in the face.
She'll be okay. She's always here. She gives me a hug.
That's sad. That's
so
sad.
Yes, she was at the meetup. I'm gonna have a one-on-one on Thursday, hopefully barring no cancellations. So we have Savage Dad tomorrow. Sorry, game stream, Savage Dad one-on-one with him and my show, panel show. Thursday, I'm having a one-on-one conversation with a Know Me Without You. And then there's the Cloud9 podcast. And then if I'm not that dead tired, me and Lawrence were born to our show.
Do you think you might get some of these coaches from League of Legends to appear on your Cloud9 podcast?
Oh, you don't know the story, man. These guys,
those analytic guys are in League of Legends are real. It's not hard that to get I
wouldn't want to talk to them because it's really interesting to see the way people want to like think about the game. That's interesting. But mostly people, if you DM them, they don't answer. They leave you on red, or they say, no, I can't come on because of,
I know they have so many obligations for coaching.
No, not obligations. If you're not someone that's
just like prima donnas, they got too much coach clout to like let
no.
It's lowly,
optics.
Like lowly you.
No, it's like optics. So like if they see a video, I mean. So like let's say I dropped our Thunderbolts review when I do, and like maybe we're shitting on it, they would go like, oh my god, this guy's, I don't want to talk to this person. He seems like he's hateful. That would be a thing that they would probably try and make sure they don't want to show for.
It wouldn't be the fact that they're fucking League of Legend coaches.
People get big heads for different reasons.
That's like the gayest thing next to like dick on dick sex.
What is wrong with you? Are you a deranged human being?
I mean, I calls it like it is. Like, just imagine like you're like, you got a job, right? And you had to fill out an application, right? And one of the things says, do you have any skills that could be useful? And what you say is, I am a League of Legends coach. And that is actually something that you think is useful.
It might get you a job in esports, depending on whatever that means. Like, I would love to talk to some of these people, but I couldn't really drill them the same way I drill
Do you
some of
want
you
me to
guys.
try out to be a coach? Take some interviews, bring a briefcase
A
full of chicken,
briefcase. What are you,
full of
Seto
chicken
Kaiba?
nuggets.
What are you, Seto Kaiba in the first episode of Yu-Gi-Oh?
Wow,
Where he's
I
like,
just
here's all my rare cards.
yeah, dude, that's me, a Yu-Gi-Oh character.
Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! League for Chad.
That's a very, very good analogy you made. If any analogy you make to a person who has a bunch of white in their beard is saying Yu-Gi-Oh, because I
Yes.
sure know a lot about that.
Yep. Just letting you know, Yu-Gi-Oh! And League of Legends is for top G Riz masters like myself.
I mean, all I have to say is there's probably a lot of virgins in that
I
league.
mean, there was a famous player named Doublelift who basically said he found out the reason why he wasn't gay was because he watched gay porn. I'm not kidding. One of the stupidest things ever.
Like, but how wouldn't you know you're not gay because you're not attracted to
I'll
men?
make the rules, man. He literally said his chat asked him, it was like, how did you know you weren't gay? He's like, because I watched gay porn and I didn't like it. It's like, what? What? What?
And these are the people that you think are like mean anything?
Are you placing value on life?
Yeah, I do it all the time. What do you mean?
I mean,
is this the first time you've talked to me?
Oh,
You're acting like this is all new.
There's definitely people. Yeah, there at one point, some of these coaches were making about 80 to 100K a year, being absolute frauds.
That's like a massive pay cut for me. So no, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, you don't really make money in esports unless you're a coach or a player. That's where you make your money. Definitely not making it owning the org, because I don't know how you get money to run your business, you know. But I mean, I wouldn't want to be a coach, honestly. It's just I'm too smart about the game to the point where it's like these players wouldn't understand my mind about it, you know, because I'm too intelligent for like basic mortals at this point, you know.
I mean, I guess. I mean, I'll say this: if it paid me anywhere near what I make, I would definitely coach your esports team.
But it would require you actually knowing about the game. Like, it's a lot.
Oh, I'm sure it's super involved.
Oh my god. You are just a sarcastic bastard. How in the world?
I'm sure it's much more involved than my job.
Good lord. Hey, it's a harder industry to survive, probably. Have you heard about someone being in esports for decades? I haven't. Well, a few people have, probably. Right, more than a few.
I mean, no, because it's not financially stable.
Yeah,
a lot more people would be doing it, and then it would grow and be more. The people that make let's find out. Let's see. Let's just see. How many people?
I mean, unless you count like how would I say this? Unless you count like fighting game tournaments. I mean, there's always been like StarCraft and Brood War tournaments in Korea.
Okay, here we go.
Yes, it did. Sir, aren't you supposed to be writing your book? Oh my goodness. This man is over here clout chasing again. I hate all you clout chasing bastards. But I told Savage Dad, he answered and I said 6 p.m. is good. So if we end around 7 o'clock, exactly an hour for our show, if we start on time, then we can do the panel show about 7:30. Let me message Lunchbox Warren about that. The Lakers are out, guys, and I'm sad.
So that's about what like Street Fighter players make, though. That's not bad.
Yeah, it's just like, but the thing with that number that you have, if you're like, how often and consistent are you going to be in the scene to be like getting that amount of money? And I don't know because with fighting games, because I have a background in that too, because I liked playing fighting as a kid. I went to tournaments for like Smash, and I like Street Fighter 2, like you said.
Well, I mean, it says
2%
of League of Legends players make between 30,000 to 300,000. So I mean, you figure if there's that many players, you could be the 2%.
Well, the 300K is from the people that are getting the bag. The average person.
Oh, I'm sure. That's why it says 30 to 300.
Yeah.
I get how sponsorships
for America
and how,
work,
like,
but for
all
America,
of those things work. Yeah.
In
And I
America.
listen, and I understand that video games can make you money. I get it. I get it. Like, I get it. Like, I
Mhm.
totally get it, right? I get it. Totally understand. Totally understand that. It just makes me laugh because, like, it's video games and they treat it like it's an actual sport. That's my hilarity with it.
That's the problem too, because if it wasn't
It's not
treated
a
like
real
an
it's
actual,
not like a sport, dude.
if it was treated
Like,
like its own
if it was
thing, I
treated
feel like
like
it
it's
could
video
grow.
games and people are playing them, yeah, it would be great. I play video games. I mean, shit, dude. Like, if you see my area, like besides here, my video game room, you'd be like,
Mhm,
dude, that's incredible.
mhm.
Like, amazing. Like, I still, dude, I held on to like every system that I had, every single one. And I had my first system was an Atari 7800, and I still have it, and it still works. Like, I've only had to replace like the controllers and stuff, but like it still works. My regular Nintendo still works. Like stuff like that. I still have all of that stuff. But like uh it's just like I think it's the whole thing surrounding it and them trying to like I think it's definitely a legitimate way to make money. Like, I know it is. My nephew, he plays in tons of Smash Brothers tournaments and he makes money. I know he does.
Yeah,
I know he does because I had to do his taxes
because
one year, and I was
wouldn't
just
you
like,
have to
"Holy
get like
shit!"
top 4 consistently?
All I know is that he traveled. He went to Pittsburgh. He won something there, and then he went to New Jersey, and then he went to California, and then he went to Canada, and then he went to Florida, and then all this stuff within a year. And I had to do his taxes for him, and he made over $200,000.
Yeah, he's in like that upper echelon of like the 2% of players actually getting the bag. But I would say it's harder to do it in his field because it's a single player fighting game tournament where
Well,
there's,
I mean, he did say like there's a lot of people that are better than him
oh,
that
for
like
sure, yeah.
because he had to go to so many different tournaments and stuff, and he borrowed some money from me so he could get. I didn't ask for it back, but like so he could get plane tickets to go and do certain things. But like I did his taxes, and it was interesting to see how their I-9s and like because you basically you have to file your own taxes because you're getting prize
You're
checks.
essentially like
So
self-employed.
yeah, pretty much. It's almost like how like wrestlers or whatever, like they have to file their own taxes because they're technically considered as
How would that
can't
work for
remember.
healthcare though? Like,
They don't get health care.
so if you wanted healthcare, he would have to pay
You
for
have
it out
to
of pocket.
pay for it out of yourself. Yeah. Until
Oof,
you
that is
get
expensive.
sponsored, like unless you get sponsored and that's what they provide. Like even me, like my job, what's cool about my job, and this is if you get lucky, you get into this, like a job that offers healthcare, right? Usually it'll come out of your check. You still pay a percentage out of your check. What's cool is my job, they will pay for your healthcare to where it does not come out of my check. So if I already had my own plan, which I did for like the first 2 years that I worked there, I got an extra like $2,000 every week because that was what that were covered by employee health coverage. So like until like I ended up going with them, my paycheck a week was like an extra 2 grand, which was awesome.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Esport players don't make a ton right now. We're in a generation or two from it being an actual industry. I would say that was Vin Diesel. He's filming his new movie out here. I don't know about that. It might be under.
I'm sure they make money. I mean, like the thing is like in America, it's a tad bit different than it is everywhere else. And that's whenever you live in America, it's kind of hard to see the outside world. And I'm not saying it's through ignorance and that's not what I mean at all. It's just hard. Like when you go to Japan, I understand you're in a different country, but it's an entirely different world over there. It's like the amount of things that are video game related and like the amount of people playing in random tournaments all over the place is just amazing. And like you said, you got to work your way up to be in a top tier thing. While they might hold an open here in a big city like New York or something, those things are happening all over the place in Europe and Asia and those things. So, I mean, I don't know. you know, I'm sure people know more about it than I do because, like I said, I just play single player games. You know, I just, like I said, I just beat Expedition 33, which was a lot of fun. I thought that was a great game. And now I'm playing the Indiana Jones game, which is cool.
The one
It's
that
a
came
lot
out
of
last
fun.
year? Oh, okay.
Well, the one it came out last year for Xbox, but it came out
True.
a couple weeks ago for PlayStation. I don't like my Xbox, man. I don't ever use it. Everybody's
What do
like,
you?
"Oh,
Oh,
play
ask you
Game
this.
Pass."
Forgot. What do you think about GTA 6? I think you said earlier you never been that interested
No, I
in
always
GTA.
liked Grand Theft Auto. I always
Okay.
liked Grand Theft
Do you think
Auto.
they're
What
gonna?
do I
It's
think
gonna be
about?
good?
Oh, of course it'll be good.
Mm.
Whether or not it's worth $100, I don't know.
That's the debatable thing. It's like, is this worth $100? Because we've not seen gameplay yet. All we've seen is just the
No,
cinematic trailers. That's it.
yeah, but like their gameplay is pretty much in-game rendered footage. So I mean, it's like it's not going to be that much different. It might not move the same, but if you look at the stuff that's coming out now, like gameplay to rendered is not that much different. Like I've done some programming before. Like I have some neat little programs that I run and they're nothing like obviously like anywhere near anything that could be sold. But like it's not that much different. I'm sure it'll be a great game. And I look at it like this, all that time that they've put into it, just think of like all the stuff that people it took them years to find. Like in GTA 5. People are still finding stuff in GTA 4. Just think
Oh
of
yeah.
all the years that it's going to take for them to find all the stuff in
Because when
GTA
people say
6.
gameplay, it's like gameplay for Grand Theft Auto hasn't really ever. It's mostly the
It's
same
really
thing.
mostly yeah, it mostly hasn't changed.
Yeah,
It
I
really
guess now it's different because it's going to be a duo group instead of a single player. But it's like,
and that could be I think that would be the big thing, like, if you could get your own squad together because before GTA Online got so hacked and so just heists were so much fun. If you had, like, a squad of your friends and you just went in and played, it used to be so much fun, but now it's just whatever. The next game I'm looking forward to is Doom: The Dark Ages. Because I've loved when they rebooted Doom in 2016, I thought it was awesome. And Doom Eternal and the 2 DLCs for it were incredible. And I love that stuff. So,
oh my god, what did you ever think about The Last of Us?
what about it? The game
So
or
I
the
only
show?
ever watched the episode 1 of the show, and I've seen the spoilers for everything that they've revealed from that. I know it happens in the game too, but it's like this.
I liked the game. I did not like the ending for the second game, but
Okay.
I didn't hate it as much as everybody else did. Like how everybody made such a big stink a few years ago about it. You know, oh my god, they ruined the franchise by the end of this game. I didn't think it was as bad as everybody thought it was. I'm more of an Uncharted guy than
Mhm.
I am Last of Us. I like Naughty Dog. I think they're great. I think they make great games, immersive games. But I've always been a you know Uncharted fan more than Last of Us. But I did play both of them.
Ooh, goodness gracious! I'm looking at too much OnlyFans stuff. So, thank you guys for checking out this episode of the MSK Show, and we'll see you guys later.